Hello, everybody out in land. Spirit of 420 here because everything I do is just it's like gosh darn or dosh darn 420. Anyway, glad to see all of you here and glad to be here. I am running a little late because I had family come over, so I had to postpone for about an hour. Plus, this season with everything I have going on, I think is going to be a little bit more on the fly almost entirely. Um, I don't do this for anybody else. So when I say the reasons that I do it, if you will, have nothing to do with making thumbnails, right? What's up, man? How you doing? Good to see you, Dante. Just stay out of the pits of hell, would you? Get out of the Dante's fire. Um, no, but I don't do this for in the worst way of saying it, probably. I do this for selfish reasons. I do this because it helps me, and I know by doing this, I'll help other people. So it may sound somewhat selfish, but ultimately, I'm doing it first for me, but for other people. But then that comes, I don't know how to explain it. So it doesn't matter. So this week's been rather busy already. And if I'm being completely transparent, it's not been an easy week either. Started off, it just started off bad because of the weekend. And when it ends bad, I'm sure a lot of y'all know how that goes, right? When it's like if you end the night bad, right, and you typically are going to wake up in a bad mood. Right? So if you end the week bad and you're unable to resolve it, then many times you're going to start the week in a bad place, right? And I'll quickly try to explain. I'm sorry, I'm popping the top on my coffee here. I will quickly give an explanation, although just know that I feel like I am in a better mood ultimately than I was. I know you're not in the inferno. It's just me right now. I get it. Just know that you're not flashing up. D, I see your responses. Okay. Um. So as most of you know, I've been working on some projects, and that's part of what's been going on. I want to find other ways to help, other ways to reach people, other ways to just do what I do. But what's up, Dirty? How you doing, man? I literally thought that said Dante at first, and I did you already? Well, hopefully, maybe you're still here. Good to see you, Dirty. I'm sorry I misread the thing. So, um, and I probably ended up ignoring you. I got to send you a text later anyway because I have someone out for you on another project. Anywho, as I said, I've been working on these other projects. Part of that is there's multiple reasons. The number one reason is the more projects that I work on, quite honestly, even if I'm spreading myself thin, I'm keeping my head full of light and staying away from the darkness. And at the same time, I'm trying to find better ways to do what I want to do with the remainder of my life. Being that it's less than I've already lived. So, on one hand, I know I'm going to continue to do Spirit of 420 forever. I know that. The only way it'll stop is when I die. Because even if the internet goes down, then I'll just fucking do this on my front porch. Come on, focus. There we go. All right. So on another, funny enough, in this situation, I have three projects going, if you will. Right. Call them A, B, and C. C is spirit. Right. So I'm working on projects A and B, and funny enough, there was one individual that was working on both projects, and she had a boyfriend, And on one, you know, the two of them worked on one project, but then it was really just her and I on another, right? So let's just call Project A the one that all three of us were involved in. And then Project B, it was just her and I, right? And I only bring this up because it's funny how people will go against what they say. It really is. You know, I posted this the other day because you really have to watch out for the werewolves that are in sheeple's clothing, right? They will talk the talk, and many times in many ways they'll walk the walk until you do something to upset them. Hey, Dirty, it is good to see you. I will send you a text. I meant to send it earlier, but I have just stupid busy. And what was this, Dante? Oh, yeah. Well, I don't care. I doesn't matter to me how many. And you got to remember too, Dante, you're looking at it. It's funny because it doesn't track well, and like it says that both on YouTube, and I see. Oh, I know you have, man. I know you have. And busy's good. You know, that's why I said busy is good. I don't trust the tracking though. Just to end it, Dante. Plus streaming technically on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter all at the same time. Okay. So you can watch from any of those platforms. By the way, just to give a shout out, he was one of the first ones to. He took a picture of it was badass. I know you'll remember the Dirty, but he took a picture of his plants and had Spirit of 420 show had me yapping away in the background, which I just thought was fucking cool as hell. It was a badass shout out to me. So his plants even get to even his plants get to hear my yapping. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Now the reason that we were working on both is I met them for Project A, right? And it was one where it was a team collaboration, and you know, I don't want to give it all away, so just know it was a team collaboration. It had to do with, you know, producing some different types of videos and different type of stuff that I haven't already produced, right? What's this, Dante? Yeah, that is the way to do it. I have the same thing going. So anyway, there was a total of 6 of us, okay, that were going on this. We were out. I'll give some of it away, but I'll let you think to yourself. But you know, we were out doing an investigation on Saturday night, and we had planned this for like a week, except I hadn't had the two of them in it, just for different reasons, and they now had a vehicle. That was one of them, right? So I was like, hey, would you like to come along? Well, I have to share this because I mean, it just everything happens for a reason, and knowing I'm going to figure it out. But I'm the one that pulled them in, and just to give you an idea, they were about 2 hours north, and I was like, you know, you just got your car fixed, so why don't you ride with my co-captain? And I was like, that, you know, about 45 minutes for you, and then, or 45 to an hour, and then 45 for an hour, you know, down riding with him. Well, the moment he got here, I started talking to him, and what's funny is the she-beast. I don't know how to explain it other than, you know, even at the time. So it was my mother, my wife, my partner, right, and even her boyfriend, collectively, because her boyfriend's like 10, 15 years older than her. Collectively, you know, all those people that I just named are somewhere in the neighborhood of like, you know, probably the late 40s even. I mean, my mom's 70 something, right? I'm 51. So, you know, when you look at all of us, the group age minus her was probably somewhere in the late 40s. And she was talking to everybody in this group like we're fucking dumbasses. And now the funny thing about it, and what got me is I had been talking to her and doing things to help her because she and her man were homeless, right? Their shit's broken down. So I've been helping him. That's how we ended up really kind of getting going on the other project. I introduced him to it, and she really liked it. And I was like, hey, I told her, I was like, you can make yourself your own title. We can get going, but it's 25% of 1,000, and then it goes to 35%. And I mean, it was the same. It's a commission based job. I was giving her what she asked for, because she even said, hey, can I make my own file? I was like, yeah, make it whatever you want. So it gives you that feeling of authority, and it will look good. I'll even get cards printed up, right? Which was going to be on my dime, company dime, right? That's the way it should be. Well, it went so bad. And so that had to do with company B. Okay. But I had been talking to her for the last 3 weeks, and like that person was so different than the one that showed up. This chick is like maybe late 20s, maybe 31, 32 at the, ripest of ages. And I might be wrong there, but I mean, that's somewhere around that, right? And the condescending and I know everything, and the questioning, oh my God, like it was why? That, what do you mean? and I know you're like, what are you talking about? I get it. I'm keeping you a little bit in the dark, but the reality is there was no whys. Like none of the other teammates had asked any of these whys. And in fact, it was those type of whys where it's more like an interrogation, not, it really is more of an interrogation, and from a condescending standpoint. So if you've ever been in that situation, that's what this was. So before my buddy though had just driven basically an hour to get to me for us to go do what was going to be an overnight thing. We were leaving this o'clock, and we weren't going to be back until fucking 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe even 9 or 10. And it was a 2-destination deal. We were going one place, and we were going to be there, camp there for a little bit, and then go to another place, right? Well, considering the vibe that happened within the first 5 minutes of her being in home, I didn't even want to do it, but there was no way I was about to disappoint her this evening. I was like, I'll grit and bear it. I'll make the best of it. Well, we got out there, and it just started again. Like it was why, what, nah. And then bullshit too. Like just, I don't even know how to say it. Face frowning. That's nice, Dante. I see that. It was like everything we said wasn't good enough. We didn't know what we were doing. And then when the bullshit started happening, and I mean, when I say bullshit, it was clearly obvious that she was lying about some things, and we're just like, wow, this is just, And the thing is, I had another new member to the team. So 3 of us had already worked together, and the 3 of us hadn't. One, and I call them the nomads because they don't have a home. They live out of their car. They're nomads. And in the simplest terms, the other single dude was kind of trying us out, and we were trying him out, right? And I thought the nomads were going to be part of the team because how they had acted previously. And let me be clear on that. That this is a bad situation because it's pretty obvious that she uses him, at least emotionally, if not mentally, and probably even physically too, literally. And she towers over him as a little tiny guy. He's a tiny guy. She, what I usually say, and I'm not trying to be rude, but kind of an Amazon, right? Big, tall woman, right? Just no bullshit. So, what does this say? That's one of those deals. Okay, that's one of those BS deals that is very angering. Yep, I get. And just in case said eyes are watching, I'm not going to say anything to get myself in trouble. Yeah, it's possible that she might be watching. You never know. And I really, quite frankly, I don't care. Maybe she'll learn something because I tried to be nice about it. That's what, I'm trying to get there, guys. I told you, I always, no matter how bad shit gets and no matter how nasty it gets between people, I really do try to find the not just the good in them, but the good in the situation. What am I supposed to learn from this? Where is it supposed to go? What's the reason for it? Because it all happens for a reason, right? And so we're out there. We hadn't even been out there, I don't know, 40 minutes, I guess we've been out there. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to go because nobody, and I mean nobody else wanted to go to the next destination and spend another 8 to 9 hours with the person, right? It was just that kind of energy. And so I tried to be nice about it, right? I really did. I was like, well, the first thing I said is, why don't we try to go out on another thing, just the three of us, and that would be myself, her, and her man, right? And she said yes, and then she started questioning me again the same way, and I was like, oh my god, it's no escape. So I realized at that point that I did not want this person to be involved in either Project A or Project B, right? It was just too much, and I cannot deal with the anger, the animosity, the contradicting, the condescendingness. I mean, it was just too much. So again, I try. I mean, I really do. I try to be nice, and I had sent product because Project B has product that we sell. So I sent product to her, right, on the front, if you will, like, hey, go ahead and sell this, take your percentage, send me the money, and then I'll send more out to you. Basically giving her an immediate line of credit to a certain degree, and it wasn't much. It's like $280 worth of product. And obviously that's my retail cost. That's not my cost. I won't even go into that, but y'all get that there's a difference. But I sent it because I wanted to help them, right? And I already sent that, and I'm like, okay. I've been thinking about it all day after this happened Saturday night. I thought about it all day Sunday, by the way. No text. There was only a group text from her late at night, like literally late at night, almost 11 o'clock. And then there was no text again by like 6:30, 7 o'clock yesterday. And that's when I finally texted her. And I was like, don't you think we should probably talk about what happened Saturday night? I was waiting on you. Okay. Well, regardless, I wrote what I thought was a nice message and said, look, I want you to have what I've already sent. Go ahead and take that. Feel free to do it however you want. You can, I know it's trying to be like you can sell it, make the money, or you can keep it, or you can throw it away. Like truly, I'm giving it to you, so it's yours to do with as you please. All right. And I tried to say everything in the nicest way. Like, look, our energies, not everybody can work together. It's just the way it is, right? And I was like, I just don't think we're going to work together well. And, I don't want to burn the bridge, but I want you to, go do your thing. And I'm basically going to go do mine. Right. And I sent that, and I did inform her. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and block you because I know you're going to probably have a few things you want to say. And, that's cool, but my mind's made up, and this is how it is. And we're in Colorado. This is a right to work state. Right. So, anyway. So I removed her from the groups, and I took off, block connection. And I even, I told a buddy of mine, I was like, this isn't the last of it. And sure enough, if you will, in my opinion, when somebody does what she did, and I'll tell you, it literally proves your point. You're like, okay, now I know why I did what I did. I don't know why I felt what I felt. So not even an hour later, I get a call from an anonymous number. Not anonymous, excuse me, but a number I didn't know, right? And it was, the number came up. is all I'm trying to say. We got a call. I answered it. And she just started right in talking about how I owe her money and that there's billable hours for what she has done. And all this person did was give me a few suggestions that, quite frankly, I already had. I even told her that. I was like, yeah, these aren't new ideas to me. I'd already thought about them. You know, there was maybe one that was slightly altered from what I thought, you know, and that was about it. And other than that, it was, you know, talking about doing conventions and all the same things I've been doing for like my entire life. I'm a salesman, you know, salesperson, I'm a business owner, entrepreneur. I've been doing this shit since I was 14. So that's too many years, right? And the amount of bullshit that she said, like, and what's funny, most of y'all know what I've done for the last, so since 07, but steady for the last basically 5 years, is market attorneys, all kinds of different too, from personal injury, criminal defense, family, right? Business. And so, like, as soon as I told her to go F herself, because I just couldn't believe it. I could and I couldn't. I was like, this is exactly why I did what I did, because I saw who you were. So angry, so negative, just, you know. And the sad thing is, it's one of these people that thinks she's nice and thinks she's like a, you know, like I've said to you many occasions, just because somebody's an asshole to you, and like, you know, like I'm telling you the story and you're hearing it from my point of view, right? If she tells it from her point of view, I'm straight up, and she's doing all this rightfully so. You know what I mean? It really is. And I've said it 100 million times. It's all perspective, you know? But the funny thing is, perspective and law are different things. And she hasn't a leg to stand on, and I won't even go into all the things. But, you know, one of the biggest factors is that if she does proceed to do anything, it's actually considered her breaking the law against me. It's a right to work state, and we never had a contract, and that's just the end of it. Even to say that you can pick your own title, that's not a contract of that. Pick your own title with your own base salary. It doesn't work that way, right? And I don't care if I gave you a title and you go and look up what the average person on that with that title makes. That's usually still partly commission, number one, and that's them. That doesn't mean you're making it. You're making just commission. We already discussed it. 25, 35. Boom. That's what you. And what was funny is I was giving her 100%. I sent her 280. I was like, you can take it. And she, of course, greedy, needy, selfish, angry, living in fear person wants more and feels like they have a right to it for some deranged reason, right? Yeah, I got a right to it. No, you don't. I say all this because we are all going to deal with these people. All have dealt with these people before. You know, what you have to remember when you're in that moment is that you know what your rights and wrongs are. And you can go, just so you know, you're in a world where you can go, and whether it be through a service or personal friends, you can go and find out if your rights equal law, right? And when you find they do, then, you know, then you can honestly get the help of lawmakers, whether it be, you know, a police officer or lawyers, right? And I hate doing that, but I mean, sometimes you have to protect yourself. And that's the sad thing is when I started talking to her, we signed an NDA for Project A that was simply a mutual, just stupid little piece of paper. And we even talked about how we hadn't signed anything for Project B because there was nothing to sign. There was no, you know, there was not anything that had been given to me or anything that I had given to her. We talked and we had some really cool brainstorming sessions, which I was most impressed with. But nothing that came out of her mouth was some original fucking new thought. You know what I mean? Like I love it when people think that everything that they think is happening for the first time. You know, no, I'm sorry. That's you live in a world of repeat, by the way. So, what to take from this? Well, I know that I'm going to make some adjustments as to how I'm running projects A, B, and even C, right? And I know that I'm also going to be a little more diligent because I do believe everything happens for a reason. So, you know, my naivety, no, me being naive is, or the way that I'm naive. There we go. I'll say it like that. The way that I'm naive is to think that they're all going to be good. Right? They're not. They're not all going to be good. And I've got to get that out of my head, right? There's going to be some real shit bags, dirt bags, and that's why you have a legal team. That's why you have your ducks in a row, right? So that when ignorance shows its ugly little head, you have the ability to battle it. That said, I'm actually, and I know you don't see it, but I'm actually not that. I was pretty upset still today because that happened yesterday. So like 2 nights out of 3, you know, she got under my skin and ruined my night. You know, say lovely. What's nice is some of the things that were happening today took me right out of it. I got, I don't know if y'all have heard of these. I know you've heard of electric scooter, so there, I got that. But I don't know if you've heard of the OK Beetle series, and it's just cute little fucking scooter. So my wife and I used to have one back in like 2013, 2012. 2012 was when we got it, and back then we just had a little gas powered 49cc. I know most of y'all know these little scooters, like just little. And it wasn't, was it a Vespa? Whatever it was one of the popular ones, you know. It might have been a Vespa. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, we got another one, and this was an electric version. Basically, it's about the same, supposed to be about the same power. And it's called a Beetle. And it's made by OK. Funny enough, OKAI is in that. So it's like OK, the what's the word? And like some kind of French way or something. I don't know. So putting that together and having fun with that was definitely an uplift. I also, it's funny that Dante said what he said, because I too found that, you know, when things are going bad, right, one of 2 things happens. And I got a text from one of my best friends this spring. I should say one of 2 things, if not both, happen. And one of those is that somebody reaches out to you, and the other one is that you reach out to somebody else, right? And what's funny is when you're going through pain, it's when somebody else reaches out to you. And, you know, and what I mean by that is it's just get a feeling to say hello, how you doing, man? Love you. I hope everything's going okay, right? And it's funny how it is. I don't believe in coincidences because of this. It's always at a time when I need it. And when I do that for somebody, it's always at a time that needing it. What's funny is when it happens to you or you do it either way, which, you know, I encountered both today, which I thought was awesome. You know, they're helping me and I'm helping them, even though they're the ones. And the way that I'm helping them, I immediately let them, hey, man, you just made my fucking day. Do you know how that makes them feel? Right. And then on the side of here, right, somebody's like, oh, dude, I really needed to hear that. I was having a shit day, da, 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 da. And they list off their shit. And you're like, you know what, that fucking sucks, man. I hate it, but I love you, and everything's for a reason, and you're going to get through it, right? Because that's what they need to hear. So it's just constant revolution, really. It really is. Gallic, there you go. So what do I get out of these bad incidences? A, they're not nearly as bad as they used to be, right? And what I mean by that is when you start to really feel the balance and look at it from that sense of it, you know that with the bad comes the good, and obviously vice versa. With the good comes the bad. It's funny because I think I'm about as stoic as I want to get, because I still like the joys of the ups, right? But the more that you diffuse the bads and you're able to those, you're also dulling, if you will, the good moments, because you kind of see as, oh shit, all right, man, this is a great moment. What's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to be the balance? I don't know. That probably sounds a little, I don't know. It sounds whatever it is, but I mean, that is literally the concept of living a stoic lifestyle, right? The lows are not as low and the highs are not as high. And it's really about trying to bring yourself to that point, where you're balanced. And unfortunately, I'm now, like, let's say this is goods and these are bad. I'm at a point where I don't want to go much further than here. So I still enjoy the goods. And quite honestly, the bads still hurt, because if you hurt, then the better moment is always that much better. Right? So you got to let it hurt a little bit. You got to let it have a little pain. I mean, that's a classic saying, but it's so true. No pain, no gain. And that is true for so many reasons, right? So if you hadn't had any pain today, then go run fast as you can into the nearest wall head first, and feel some pain, man. You'll get some gain. I don't know what you're going to gain from, maybe a neck injury. But either way, love all you guys. That's probably the end of the show tonight. I've already talked for 10 minutes. I appreciate that, Dirty. It is, and it's true, like you said, man. It's just the way it is. I love all y'all. I appreciate you being here tonight. I appreciate you listening, as always, and know that you are incredibly important. You're incredibly special. On a side note, Dante, I'll text you a little later, and Dirty, I'll text you as well. I hope that everybody has a wonderful, blessed week. Today is 5th, right? No, the 3rd. I'm sorry. So I'll be back on the 5th. And is that, yeah, the 5th is Thursday and the 7th is Saturday. Is that right? Yeah. So I'll be back on Saturday, Thursday and Saturday. Right. Anyway, everybody have a wonderful weekend. Let me put this down because I'm about to mount something. I hope everybody has a wonderful week, not weekend, excuse me. We're just getting started. It's not even Wednesday. So I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Enjoy Hump Day tomorrow. I will see you on Thursday. And when I see you on Thursday, you think you only got one more day to go. So it'll be nice. Anyway, I love all of y'all. Have a wonderful evening. You are incredibly special. You are incredibly important. And each and every one of you play an equal role in this world that we call, or this puzzle that we call world. Peace. No, look at that. I hit the wrong button. Oh, I started though. Love you, Dirty. I got to get over here. All right. So with all that said, I'll just say again, peace. I love all you guys. Peace.
I switch here, I'm a strange fuck. Consist on ain't something I could say well. Throw my change into the wishing for a change well. Wish a day is swell life for the next come. And when the next come, pretend that it's the best one. Like I ain't even gonna try and say that to the next one.